guys, it's Kimberly. So today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me. By the title, you can probably tell it's me talking about body image, our favorite topic. So I actually got this idea from Kai Foster because she does serious topic but a mukbang. And so I decided, you know, I like doing get ready with me, and like a part of me still wants to do like makeup related things on my channel, but I know damn well I'm not a beauty guru. So I decided I'm gonna do a series similar to Kai Foster's, therefore like this idea is not my own. Technically it's inspired by Kai Foster. But before we get into the get ready with me, I just want to mention that just because Black Lives Matter is no longer on your timeline doesn't mean it is not an issue that is still happening. But there are also a lot of other crises going on around the world that have been brought to my attention that I've been aware of, but like now I'm seeing it more and more often, which is the power of social media and the power of speaking up. So if you're remaining silent, you're part of the issue. But anyways, there's the Yemen crisis. Israel is trying to annex Palestine again. The Philippines is under the threat of possibly going through martial law, but I'll have a bunch of cards linked down below in the description box so you can continue to educate yourself on those things. Even though Black Lives Matter is happening in the US, there are a lot of other issues going around the world that we should all educate ourselves about. Anyways, enough of that ramble spiel. Let's get into the get ready with me. So I planned this video out, and I'm gonna plan all my get ready with me, like serious topic but a get ready with me, out, because if I don't, I'll ramble and then I won't get all the points I want to get across. If I'm looking this way, it's because this is where my mirror is, so I'm sorry I won't be looking directly into the camera, but what can you do? Body image, oh, my favorite topic. So I'm gonna be talking about how I perceived my body from what I can remember, so elementary school or primary school to my international subscribers or people watching this video, and up to now, present time. I'm a sophomore or in my second year or going into my second year of university. Elementary school. My most conscious memory of me being aware of like what my body looked like was first grade, which is, I think, quite early for you to be have self-hatred for your body, but hey, here we are, first grade Kimberly, so I'm like 6-7 years old. So first grade Kimberly, even kindergarten Kimberly, elementary school Kimberly in general, I was just tall for no reason. I mean, right now I'm 5'10.5", which is pretty tall for a woman, I guess. And in elementary school it was no different. I was a head taller than almost all of my classmates. I will insert a picture on the screen that I recently found when I was going through my memory box, and I looked at that and I was like, I knew I was taller than everyone, but I didn't realize I was that much taller than everyone. I was a tall bean, and I also was not stick thin, or at least in my mind I thought, you know, I'm fat. I don't even know what set it off, but I compared myself to all the other girls in my grade a lot, because like they were all skinny and they all looked nice in their clothes, and I had to size up in clothes because not only was I bigger than them, like size, like weight wise, I guess, I was bigger than them height wise, so like obviously I couldn't wear the things they were wearing because they would look weird on me because I'm so much taller than them. But you know, 7 to like 11-year-old Kimberly did not understand that. It also didn't help that I was rather introverted in elementary school. I was rather introverted for the majority of my education. Oh, I didn't wipe my beauty blender. I keep doing this. I do this all the time. Hold up. As I was saying, so I was very introverted, and as a result I didn't talk much, and I just observed everyone around me, which is, I think, part of what played into the beginnings of my body dysmorphia. And I mean, like, even though I was like overthinking a lot back then, I still overthink. I still get in my head a lot now, unfortunately. It just took a foothold in my life in elementary school. And I've always been obsessed with how I present myself. Maybe obsessed is a strong word. I guess the correct wording is I've always cared about how I present myself to others, like whether it's how my body looked, whether it's how I dressed, which I don't think like it's necessarily a bad thing all the time, but when you're someone who has a very strong hatred with your body, it's not the healthiest, you know, it's not the healthiest thing I could be doing with my time. And as I was like thinking about doing this topic, I wondered why I've always been obsessed with how I present myself and look to others. And I think it has to do with the fact that I grew up in an African household. How many times can I bring up that I'm not American on my channel? A lot, apparently. So as you may know by now, but if you're new here, I am Kenyan. I live in the US of A, but I am Kenyan. I was born in Kenya. I moved to America when I was very young though, so I'm very Americanized and I have an American accent, obviously. In African households, you are constantly being reminded of how there are people that are better than you, but even though there are people that are better than you, you still need to be the best. Which is a concept that I back then had a hard time wrapping my head around, but I still have a hard time wrapping my head around. So because I guess I ballooned. It's just like you're constantly reminded of how big you are in comparison to everyone. Also, like in Kenya, kids are like stick thin, so like me having a little meat on my bones was a little interesting to my parents. Because I grew very tall, I think I had multiple growth spurts in my life. I got stretch marks. My arms had stretch marks. They still do. The decolletage area has stretch marks. My thighs have stretch marks. Like everywhere has stretch marks. And even back then in elementary school, I had stretch marks, which I don't know if that was normal because I'm not a doctor. But like, yeah, I had stretch marks and they were always like, my dad would bring it up. My mom would bring it up, especially because my mom's a nutritionist, so that didn't help. My relationship with food, but we'll get into that later. So yeah, in elementary school, I actually went back to Kenya. I went back to Kenya when I was 5, and then I went back to Kenya when I was about to go into the 5th grade. One distinct memory I have from that trip specifically that has to do with my body is, obviously I was taller than the majority of my cousins, but I was also bigger than the majority of my cousins. And my uncles and aunts did not hesitate to bring it up, even if they brought it up in Swahili, because like, they know I don't speak Swahili fluently, or they wouldn't even speak in Swahili, they'd speak in Luo, which is my tribal language. But there was one time I was at my aunt's house in Kisumu, and my uncle, my mom's brother, asked my mom in either Swahili or Luo, because I can't tell the difference because I'm not fluent in either. He asked her if I could even jump because I was so big, and so even though I didn't understand the conversation like that, I still like randomly jumped up in the air as if something in the universe told me like jump and show. And he was so surprised that like I could get myself off the ground. Let's just say that did not help my self-esteem. Oh, I don't remember my mom's reaction. I know she wasn't the happiest that he had said that, cause only she can talk about my weight. It was kind of just like, damn, like y'all really think I'm obese out here. Like I didn't know I was like an elephant, y'all. Like, anyways, moving on to middle school. In general, middle school was I don't want to say traumatic because that's like an exaggeration, but to be quite honest, I could not tell you what happened the majority of middle school. I have blocked out middle school from my memory. So me, Kimberly, from the age of 12 to 13, 14-ish, I don't recall. I don't know what happened there. I only have very little memory of how I felt about my body, but you know, the body dysmorphia just got worse in middle school because I went to a no school. All the girls were still as skinny as ever. Well, not all the girls, but like the majority of the girls that I would see skinny as ever. I was still very tall, which did not help my self-confidence when I wanted to talk to people I had like romantic feelings for, even though I was literally a child. Like, what romantic feelings could I possibly have had? But like, yeah, I just was very insecure, and I think because I was so insecure, I blocked out that part of my life. I had one of my many growth spurts in middle school. I think over a period of 1.5 to 2 years, I had a 7-inch growth spurt. I went from being 5'2" to being about 5'9", and I only know this because I wrote this in one of my old journals, and I was just like, damn. I didn't know a body could do that, which thankfully, because I had grown so much, that had kind of distracted me from my weight and I was now focused on trying to get pants that fit me lengthwise, because now I was too tall for like justice and stuff, and now I had to get like extra long jeans from like American Eagle. My height was something I kind of low-key had discrepancies about, especially in elementary school and like I guess the majority of middle school. I also did dance during this time, and the majority of the girls that I danced with, I was like sometimes even more than a head taller than them. But I mean, I was still bigger than them weight-wise too, but that's because I was also taller. So my main concern wasn't my weight when I did dance, which is weird because like a lot of dancers have body issues because of their height, their weight, I mean. My main concern was not trying to stand out as much because I was so tall and I was the only black girl. So like I had other things to worry about. But I want to say around 7th to 8th grade is where my worries about my weight skyrocketed. My doctor had told me that I was overweight for my height and my age, and that freaked me out. And I know she did it out of like concern for my health, but all that really did, and the combination of my mother being a nutritionist, did not help. And this is when I started counting calories severely. I think I was on the verge of an eating disorder, but it never spiraled that much. But I was constantly counting calories. I would beat myself up if I went over my calorie limit for the day based off what the app had told me. And then after a while, because I had been restricting myself so much and I was so hungry, then I would binge, because I've always had like binge eating tendencies, which is why my weight skyrockets, and I lose weight a lot and then I gain the weight back because I'm binging again, and I'm still trying to find that healthy balance. Man, counting calories is just something I personally can't do, because I know when I count calories, then I get too in my head and then I restrict myself too much, and then because I'm restricting myself too much, I eventually end up going on a binge, and then I end up gaining weight again, and then I feel bad about myself, and the cycle continues. It's not a fun cycle to be a part of, but I continued that cycle through end of middle school and halfway through high school. And I had recently, I don't know why I fell into the trap again, but recently during quarantine I fell into the trap of counting my calories again, and I did not like the way it made me feel. I had maintained / lost quite a bit of weight during quarantine, which is part of my goal, because I do want to lose weight so that I can be a healthier weight. Like, I just want to feel stronger and not so tired, and just like look, and like obviously like it's an aesthetic thing, but like that's not like the main thing, and I think changing my mindset has helped. So yeah, basically in my notes, like it was just the calorie counting. But now high school, something that is in the most recent memory. Got to high school, my height was not that big of a deal anymore to me, because over the summer from 8th grade to high school, all the boys had growth spurts. So I was no longer that much taller than the majority of them, because for some reason they decided they wanted to grow 9 inches over the summer. So I had a bunch of phases of self-love / self-hatred, self-loathing in high school. Ironically, the one thing that helped my mental health in regards to like my physical appearance was my height. I enjoy being pretty tall, like being 5'10". I could not imagine myself being any shorter than 5'10". I would even be fine being 5'11", to be quite honest. But so that is probably one of the good things that like past Kimberly was able to experience when it came to her body image. And one thing that I guess subconsciously made me very happy that I was tall is because if I had been any shorter, the fat on my body would not be as nicely dispersed. Another thing that's like very greatly helped my mental health is my body stores fat in certain areas, and I'm able to hide those areas when I'm feeling very self-aware of how I look. The fact that I am tall, I'm able to hide weight gain and how much I weigh. For the most part, do I want to say how much I weigh? Let's just say however much you think I weigh, I probably weigh more. I most definitely weigh more than what you think I weigh. So that was another reason why I enjoyed being tall, because it was like, man, I weigh this much, but if I was like 5'6", I would hate my life even more. Is it the healthiest reasoning? No, but it helped me and it continues to help me. So you gotta do what you gotta do. I was also on the basketball team. Where do I start? So again, tallest girl on the basketball team, but my height again was not the issue. I compared myself to the girls who were around the same height as me, and they definitely weighed less than me. And I looked at their bodies and, like, not in a creepy way. If you're watching this and you're on the basketball team, hi. But I looked at their bodies and I saw how much less they weighed than me, and I saw how their bodies looked, and that just made me even more depressed about my body. I was just like, damn, if I lost weight, like, my body could look like that, I'd be so happy, blah blah blah. I mean, I was also thinking about the health benefits, but, like, mainly, like, if I lost weight, my body would look good in, like, swimsuits and in shorts. And yeah. Intermission. So the makeup look I'm going to be doing is actually inspired by the teaser makeup that Rosé from Blackpink. Blackpink is finally having a comeback. YG has let them out of the dungeon. And they're having a pre-comeback track, and then they're actually having an album. I'll believe it when I see it, YG, but that's just making me very excited. But anyways, Rosé is my bias, and her makeup very much intrigued me. So I'm gonna try and do something similar to that and hope I don't end up looking crazy. Another good thing for my mental health is that my parents slowly stopped bringing up my weight. They kind of let me start to figure out how I felt about my weight and, like, things I could do for my weight. And it was very nice to not constantly be reminded that I'm a fat ass. In nicer terms. My parents never rudely brought it up, but just the act of bringing it up was not the best for me. But yeah, that actually really helped, not having it constantly brought up in my face. And, like, even when I returned back to Kenya when I was about to go into freshman year of high school, like, no one really brought up my weight, at least to my face, so that was very nice. But even though my parents, like, had stopped really bringing up my weight, I still had issues with myself, but it made it so that the issues with my body were my own opinions. But you know, when you're constantly told or, like, your weight is constantly mentioned for the majority of your life, especially during, like, puberty and all that stuff, it sticks with you. You know, I still have those thoughts. They still sneak up on me. They most definitely snuck up on me in high school. It's just a learning thing, a thing I have to continue to work on with myself, because I really have no one else to blame for these thoughts than myself, and maybe, like, social media and all that stuff. But yeah, I just have to learn to accept myself, but also try and better myself, because I do want to better myself and lose weight. In high school, I think, is when my love for fashion skyrocketed, and being uncomfortable in your body was not fun. So I would, like, find these looks and these clothes at stores, and then I would try them on, and then they wouldn't fit right. They would look weird. I hated how my body looked in them. Like, I just felt like a sausage packed into these clothes, and it's like on the model or something, it would look so nice, and then I would put it on and I was like, damn, I don't know, somebody lied to her, because this is not a look. In high school, though, I want to thank my friends if they're watching, like, my high school friends if they're watching this. They tried to make me feel confident in myself, but that's just a very hard thing to do, especially when you hate yourself. But yeah, the fact that clothes, going back to clothes, because I can't have a cohesive thought. The fact that clothes did not fit me the way I had envisioned them in my head, because I'm someone who envisions a lot of things in my head. So when they don't work out the way I envisioned them, oh baby. It just made me even more self-aware of the things I did not like on my body. And it was not fun. Still isn't fun, but it most definitely was not fun back then. Ooh, I'm getting stuff in my eye. So now, body issues, body confidence, present Kimberly, 19-year-old Kimberly. So, I'm gonna talk about the things I don't like about my body still, because that's just, like, kind of the theme. My boobs. the breast, the decolletage. Is this this is the decolletage area. This is not the bustier area. How do I say this lightly? I want my boobs to be smaller, which a lot of people, when I tell them that, they're like, I don't know what you're on, but like small boobs are not the move. However, I counter that because having biggish boobs, honestly, I don't know what size my boobs are. I think they're C cup or D cup. Not entirely sure. But having big boobs means that my chest hurts a lot. I have to wear sports bras constantly if I want to work out. And my back is always in pain. Are big boobs really worth it? Not really. Also, because they're like big, they're also not perky, so they sag. And because they sag, if I'm not wearing the right type of bra, oh, that's messy. I just don't like how certain tops look on me. I have looked into getting like how much breast reductions cost. I don't know when I can get a breast reduction. Focus on me. Also, I'm still trying to research because like if I have kids and I want to breastfeed them, getting a breast reduction might mean I can't breastfeed them. So it comes down to a value calculation, I guess. And I'm still trying to figure that out, but I most definitely will get a breast reduction sometime in the future because these hoes need to go. They need to go. Am I saying I want a double A? No, but like an A cup or a B cup would be nice. I'm just over it. I'm over it. Next area of loathing. My thighs. Damn, my thighs have, I think, always been some area of my body that I dislike because they're just so big. And then when you have fat thighs, they just stick to everything and things just fit really tight. And then you sit on a chair during the summer and you stand up and there's a pool of sweat on the chair. Then you're walking and you're sweating and your thighs chafe. The amount of times I've chafed, like my thighs have chafed to the point where my thighs become raw is disrespectful. I need to tone my legs because I can't live this life anymore. Back then, like my reasons for wanting to lose weight were very aesthetic purposes, but now it's more of just like so I can live comfortably. I'm tired of my back hurting and my knees hurting, even though my knees are double jointed, so they're messed up in their own ways. I'm tired of feeling constantly tired. I'm tired of my thighs chafing to the point where they start to bleed. They've bled twice because of chafing, and I'm just over it. I'm tired. Then in college, I was finally able to go to the gym because my college, one of the very few free things that St. John's University provides to its students, is a gym membership. So we have a gym. Is it the biggest gym? No, but it's a gym and it gets the job done. Because I had access to a gym, I was able to lose 18 to 20 pounds. I was feeling my best. I was the most confident in my body at that time, or like not the most confident, but like I was starting to feel like good emotions towards my body and my body image, in combination with like my second semester schedule like messing up the time that I go to the gym, because I enjoy going to the gym when it is the morning because that's when few of the muscle bros are there and scare me off from the weight section. They're just very intimidating. No one's ever said anything to me, but just the energy we've created in the studio today just makes me very uncomfortable whenever I'm in the weight section and there are a bunch of guys and I'm like one of two girls. I don't know what to say. So because of my scheduling for spring semester of 2020, I wasn't able to go to the gym as much, and then Corona happened and I definitely wasn't able to go to the gym and I lost my gym time. I miss lifting weights. I miss so many of the machines. But since being home, like I said, I mentioned briefly, like my body dysmorphia has gone up because I can't go to the gym, I can't lift weights, I feel like I'm getting weaker, surrounded by food all the time, so then I'm eating more than I normally did. And I had a much healthier relationship with food in college for some reason. Like you'd think like freshman year, like freshman 15, but nah, I I was just the happiest I was with my body and I want it back. And also because I'm surrounded by food or a lot more than I used to be, like I mentioned earlier, or like briefly, I have a tendency to binge eat. Sorry, I'm looking at this picture of Rose so I can figure out how I want to do this eyeliner. But yeah, my tendency to binge eat has come back full force, and I still binge eat even today. Actually, not today. Today I haven't, but like this past week I have. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I have. It's not the funnest feeling, especially when you feel sick to your stomach after you do it, but that's just things that hopefully I can talk to a nutritionist or a therapist about. But enough of the past. What am I doing now to continue to love my body? I have a notes app tracker of my weight, which to some of you may be like, that doesn't sound like the best idea, but let me explain. So I have made it a rule with myself that I'm only allowed to weigh myself once a month, because I used to had a bad habit of weighing myself almost daily and then getting upset that the scale isn't moving down as much as I would like it to, and then it just creates a whole vicious cycle of self-hatred and body dysmorphia. I'm someone who's very goal oriented and like if I don't see progress in something, I lose interest very fast. So again, I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor, so that tactic might not be a good tactic for everyone, but for me it works. It stops me from counting calories all the time. I've also made it so that I have a list of rewards I'm giving myself when I reach a certain weight, which again may not be the healthiest for you. It really depends on you and your mental state and what you know you can mentally handle. But giving myself rewards gives me something to look forward to. Again, I'm very goal oriented. Continuing on with like that whole thing, I've been working out at home. I work out every other day because when I work out every day, I just get tired and then I lose motivation, and then the cycle of hating my body continues, and we're trying to stop that cycle. So I work out every other day. I actually worked out today before I filmed this video. And then I've also been on like a diet, which is not really a diet. Like, we're not thinking like K-pop idol diets here. I just make a plan in my head for what I'm gonna eat the following day, which I don't know if that's the best because then I'm constantly thinking about food. But if I have a plan of what I'm going to eat, it is very unlikely that I will binge. If I just go into the day with no idea what I'm gonna eat, or like a general idea of what I'm gonna eat, it normally does not end well. But I've just been incorporating healthier foods into my diet, especially now that I can cook, because on campus I couldn't really cook, but here at home I have access to stuff I can cook with, and I know how to cook, so I might as well take advantage of the fact that I know how to cook. And then the final thing I've been really doing to help my mental health when it comes to the topic of my body is unfollowing people who make me feel insecure about the way I look. I know I look crazy right now, give me a second. If I'm constantly comparing myself to them and like constantly throwing myself like a pity party for the way I look in comparison to how they look, it doesn't make sense, and I'm just like causing myself more suffering than like is necessary in life. I've unfollowed a bunch of YouTubers on Instagram because what they post is triggering, I guess, to me, and can lead me to have downward spirals in relation to how I see my body. So I just had to say, you know what, maybe I'll continue to watch their YouTube videos, but for my sanity, their Instagram is off limits, you know? So I recommend, if you're someone who suffers with body image issues, look at the people you're following and like ask yourself, does their content make me feel good about myself, or does it end up in the end making me feel worse about myself? The lighting just keeps getting worse, I'm sorry, but this is the final makeup look. Don't look too closely, I haven't done like makeup this crazy in a long time, but it actually looks pretty similar to Rosé's makeup in the How You Like That teaser, so at least I got one thing done in this video. But I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about, I guess, my body struggles. And even though I'm not like a professional, I hope it at least helped in some way. If you're also suffering with like body image issues, that you're not the only one going through it, and then a bunch of teenagers and like adults even, they go through this every single day, and you're not alone, and it's okay to seek help, especially if you have an eating disorder and your relationship with food is not the best. Or if you don't have those issues and I hope you just enjoyed me talking so you can like hear the experience of others. But yeah, I will have a bunch of links down below to a bunch of issues in our world that need attention. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovely!